BJ Mafia, what's poppin'? We got a heated rivalry between two AFC South opponents going on in Week 18. We got the 9-7 Jaguars traveling up to Nashville to take on the 5-11 Tennessee Titans. In just moments before I hit the record button, Mike Vrabel just announced to the media that Ryan Tannehill will be the starter this upcoming Sunday, as Will Levis, who left the game last week versus the Texans with a foot injury. He was a limited participant yesterday in practice because today's Friday as I'm recording this video, but he is not going to be able to play. That's going to end his rookie season, meaning that Ryan Tannehill will be elevated to being the starting quarterback. For the Jaguars and their starting quarterback situation, we don't know if it's going to be CJ Beathard or Trevor Lawrence. We will get into all of that here momentarily, but before we actually go ahead and get into today's preview video and really talk about the injury report, if you guys please could go ahead and drop me a thumbs up, hit the subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube, and make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But let me go ahead and talk about the Jaguars first and foremost when I talk about the injury report, because their list is nowhere nearly as long as it is for the Tennessee Titans. So you're gonna look at three key offensive players. Trevor Lawrence, Zay Jones, and Christian Kirk all were limited participants in practice. We know Zay Jones has been dealing with that hamstring injury. Christian Kirk had that groin, which put him on IR even though his practice window opened up. And then for Trevor Lawrence, this guy is a man of steel, but he finally missed his first career game last week versus the Panthers in a shutout victory. This guy's been dealing with an ankle injury, a knee injury, a concussion, now a right shoulder with also a left finger injury. This guy's been going through it all and he's been getting banged up, and he's going to be a game time decision according to Doug Peterson. In my eyes, I don't see Trevor Lawrence playing in this game. I think it's best that you rest him for the playoffs, but you still got to win this game because Tennessee has a lot to fight for, and you know they want to do their best to kick our ass in front of their own fans and also to knock us out of the playoffs. Because I don't want to talk about any scenario in which the Jaguars lose this game and we can still find our way into the playoffs. No, 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 no. We win and we're in. That's all I care about. If we lose this game to Tennessee, we don't deserve to be in the playoffs. But let me stop yapping. Let me get into the Tennessee injury report. Cornerback Eric Garror was upgraded from a DNP on Wednesday to an LP, a limited participant on practice on Thursday. You had center Aaron Brewer, who was a limited participant on Thursday as well. Flipping over to the defensive side of the ball for Tennessee, cornerback Anthony Kendall and defensive lineman TK McLendon were both a DNP on both Wednesday and Thursday, so they're dealing with a lot of injuries as well. Caleb Murphy, Kevin Rader, and Sean Murphy-Bunting were all limited participants both of those days, Wednesdays and Thursday. Both DeAndre Hopkins and Derrick Henry, two great veterans, they got a day of rest. And then obviously, like I just announced earlier, Will Levis was downgraded to out, ending his rookie season, meaning Ryan Tannehill steps into this game as the full-time starting quarterback for the Tennessee Titans. Let's talk about this matchup now. Jacksonville's offense versus Tennessee's defense. And Tennessee's defense has a lot of great pieces on there that can really get to a guy like CJ Beathard, Danico Autry, Harold Landry, and even a guy like Arden Key. These guys want to get after the quarterback. Now, I think Press Taylor did a much better job last week of making sure that CJ Beathard gets the ball out of his hands timely, quickly, in rhythm, making sure he's not a sitting duck back there in the pocket, especially with the offensive line being a little bit porous this season. Thankfully, Cam Robinson came back. But Tennessee has pass rushers and they have guys that can get to the quarterback. Even if they don't take down CJ Beathard, they can get in his face and they can create problems. But you still need to do a good job of making sure CJ gets that ball out timely, because I do not want Harold Landry or Danico Autry or even Arden Key, guys who have a lot of incentives to play with and to really get home to the quarterback. I don't want CJ Beathard being hurt. I don't want him being touched. I want this guy upright, healthy, and clean. Also for the Jaguars offense, you're going to have to get Travis Etienne utilized early and often into this game. We know he's a dynamic playmaker. We know what he can do out in the open field. I don't care how you get Travis Etienne involved, just get him involved. Get him the ball in space. We know the interior of the offensive line has been weak all season. Run some misdirection, use some different looks and some different packages to really make sure he can get out into the open field. And I'm not talking about some screen passes like we saw versus the Carolina Panthers. Get him a little toss route into some open space and make sure that he can go out there and make a play. I think the Jaguars offense is desperately going to need to do that. And the last thing is, they did a great job last week with CJ Beathard in there on third down conversions, making sure you're moving the sticks, keeping the time of possession on your hands, which the Jaguars did a great job of. The last time that they beat the Tennessee Titans, I think it was 34-14. I was at that game in Jacksonville, and the Jaguars dominated the TOP 36-23 in this game. Convert on third down, take care of the time of possession, and get Travis Etienne the ball. You're gonna have to do that, especially in some cold weather up in Nashville. But now let's flip it over and talk about Jacksonville's defense versus Tennessee's offense. And now that I know that Ryan Tannehill is the quarterback, that definitely changes a lot of things from my perspective, because Will Levis, even though this guy's not a Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson out of the pocket, he's a much more mobile and athletic quarterback than a Ryan Tannehill is. Can Tannehill evade and get out of some pressure? Of course he can. But you can do a much better job of collapsing the pocket, making sure you stay in your lanes, having Trayvon and Josh Allen on those edges, stay in their lanes, stay in their gaps, and collapse the pocket and really force Ryan Tannehill to be rattled. He did do a solid job of stepping in last week once Will Levis went down with that foot injury, but I think Jacksonville's gonna do a much better job of being able to contain a type of quarterback like Ryan Tannehill, where we've done a great job of that in the past. And speaking of containing guys, you're gonna have to obviously contain their #1 weapon, Derrick Henry, a guy who's been a Jaguar killer his entire tenure in Tennessee. But lately, the Jaguars have been doing a much better job of beating the Tennessee Titans, and a lot of that has to do with limiting and stopping Derrick Henry. If you go back to their last matchup, Derrick Henry only had 10 carries for 38 yards in that loss to Jacksonville. Obviously, they were down. They couldn't run the ball as effectively. You're gonna have to do the same job if you're Jacksonville. Jacksonville has one of the best front sevens and one of the best defenses in terms of run stopping, and they're gonna have to do a good job of stopping Derrick Henry. And the last guy they're really gonna have to stop on this offense, obviously, is gonna come with DeAndre Hopkins. Now, he has some incentives to play for in week 18 in terms of bonuses. I think if he gets over like 43 more yards, I think he gets like a $125,000 bonus, and I'm not pocket watching this guy. I'm just telling you what I've done from some of my research. DeAndre Hopkins has something to play for as well, and so do these guys in Tennessee that just want to knock Jacksonville out of the playoffs. Limit DeAndre Hopkins, who only had 59 yards, and one of those came on a 43-yard bomb on a trick play. Last time we played him, contain him, really stop the run game in Derrick Henry, and I think you do a good job of stopping this offense. I'm not scared of Treylon Burks and whatever else Tennessee's gonna go out there and present to this team. Now, getting into my final verdict with this game, I think Jacksonville ultimately is going to come out on top, regardless if it's CJ Beathard or Trevor Lawrence out there. It is going to be a low-scoring affair, and Jacksonville comes into this game as 5.5-point favorites. I like Jacksonville to cover, and I like Jacksonville to win this game 19-10. In Nashville, you win the AFC South. You're a double-digit win team for the first time since 2017. They were 10-6 then. We're going to be 10-7 now. You lock up the #4 seed, and you're more than likely going to play Cleveland in that first-round matchup in the wild card round. Jacksonville has to take care of business. That's it. Plain and simple. Jags fans, Titans fans, please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below, and also give me a score prediction. I got Jacksonville coming out on top 19-10. But Jags fans and Titans fans, if you guys enjoyed today's video, make sure you guys go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe bell to stay tuned for more Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube. And make sure you guys also go ahead and follow me on my socials, especially on Twitter. I'm very active and I'm on there every single day. The link tree will be in the description down below so that you guys can go ahead and check that out. But thank you guys again for sticking around throughout the whole video. Brett James, aka BJ, I'm out, y'all. And like always, let's go Jags.